and share this painting with me.
Hi, John French here. I'm a painter from New Mexico, but I live in Michigan. In fact, September of 2014 marks 30 years of me living, exploring, and painting in Michigan's Upper Peninsula.
Now this is the Marquette Harbor Lighthouse, a local icon that people just love. This was taken right after a big storm, and this is what we're going to paint. I start by blocking in a little bit of light here, working on the sky. We're going to establish some mood in the sky. I'm using these round knives to sculpt and shape the forms of these clouds. I think that's a nice looking sky. I like that sky. Now that the sky is all done, I'm going to start putting in the horizon line. Lake Superior is a very beautiful piece of water. Very clean, very pure. A lot of this green is actually you're able to see into the water and see the ground way underneath. Very beautiful. People around here love this lake. Believe it or not, it does get warm enough to swim in the summertime. People swim in it and go boating in it, kayaking in it. People go sailboating. In the wintertime, they might go ice fishing. And in the fall, like a blustery fall day, like when I painted this picture, there might be some surfers. You know, I said at the beginning of this video that I was a New Mexico artist living in Michigan. And that's kind of half a joke. I was born in New Mexico. I lived there until I was 9 years old. I still have family there, and I go there and visit quite a bit. And I think if I move there, if and when I ever move there, or move anywhere really, I'm really going to miss this lake. I've mixed alizarin and crimson and yellow ochre together to make this beach color, and I think it's too orange. I've just put a pile of white right out of the tube onto this beach, and I'm mixing it with straight yellow ochre. I'm going to tone down that orange color a little bit. That's a lot better. I like that a lot better. I'm going to smooth this out with this big round knife. I have left it dark by the water because, of course, wet sand is darker than dry sand, and this is where that water is washed over the sand. And right here, I'm going to put a little bit of shadow by that water. I'm just going to keep adjusting this, keep making it brighter, work on these waves a little bit, make it look like water, and throw some ripples in there, a little reflection of the sky, bring some sky color in it. Always keep adjusting, always keep tweaking till you get it just the way you like it. Back to the beach. I just could not get happy with this beach. I'm cutting in the outlines of this landmass that's across the little bay here. I'm going to put this little rock in here and then start putting the shadows. Now, the fun part is putting the object, the subject of this painting. I'm going to start putting this lighthouse in. Oh, and back to the beach. I just could not get enough of this beach. We have a lot of trees up here in Upper Michigan, and this landmass is no exception to that. This is a big rock. I'm going to show the highlights of the rock right here. And now where the sun is hitting the lighthouse, I'm going to put this kind of a brighter red color, This is yellow ochre mixed in with my alizarin crimson and some white. And this is the shadow color. It's just straight alizarin crimson that's going to mix in with that purple color that I put there previously. The Marquette Harbor Lighthouse was built originally in 1853. This is when it was reconstructed in 1866. And a second story here was added in 1909. This lighthouse is still owned by the Coast Guard, but is leased by the Marquette Maritime Museum, and you can get tours to the museum. You have to go through the museum because it's still on Coast Guard property. My wife and my son and I took a tour through the Maritime Museum a few years ago, and it was very interesting. It's really neat to get out there and walk out on these rocks and on the catwalk that I don't have pictured here. See, this little area right here is somewhat sheltered from the wind, so the water's not quite so rough, so you see a little bit of reflection. Up until now, this lake has been pretty smooth, and those are nice paintings too, but that's not really what we want. We want this to be kind of a rough painting. So I'm going to add a lot of these white caps where this water is breaking over itself and breaking against the rocks, and really just rough it up a little bit. Painting like this is kind of like sculpting. I'm sculpting the shapes of these clouds, and watch this, I'm going to sculpt this wave hitting this rock. Poof, poof, see that? And then I'm going to shape some of this water down here a little bit more too. And I've got to go back to the beach. I just could not be happy with this beach. After it dries for a little bit, like a few days, maybe a week or so, I'm gonna have to start, a little bit of brush work and add some details. Like there's an antenna here, and I'm gonna do the trim around the windows, and actually put some windows in, do the trim around the lighthouse, and throw in some branches. Now I'm gonna add some birds, some seagulls. It was so windy that day that these seagulls were on this beach, and they were all facing into the wind. And I'm going to put those on here now. I'm starting with their bellies. Now I'm going to paint the white parts of these seagulls. And there they are. This was one of my very favorite paintings. It didn't take long for this painting to sell. We're a very happy customer. I hope you like this. Thank you for watching. You can see more on my website, artofjohnfrench.com. Thank you.